Hello YouTube, this is another predictions video for UFC 202. This Saturday, August 20th, where Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor meet for the second time. And I'm doing this video early because I will be on vacation for the next 2 weeks. So let's get right to it. You got Alberto Uda versus Marvin Vettori. I think Marvin Vettori will win this fight because Alberto Uda lost his last fight, which was his UFC debut, to Jake Collier. I think Marvin Vettori gets it done in his first time under the bright lights. This kid's a young kid. Looked him up before his debut coming up, so I think Vettori gets it done. And then you got Colby Covington versus Max Griffin. I just realized Max Griffin was eliminated on the Tough 16 elimination bouts to get into the house by Matt Secor. So I didn't even realize that because I didn't know who Max Griffin was at the time. But I'm going to go with Colby Covington because he's a good wrestler and I think he can get it done. You know, the only fight he lost was against Warlley Alves, who I thought he was winning that fight until he got caught in Warlley's deadly guillotine. So I'm going to go with Colby. Then you got Neil Magny versus Lorenz Larkin on the featured bout of the UFC Fight Pass prelims. I'm going to go with Neil Magny because, he's been on a roll. The only fight he lost lately was to Damian Maia, with his jiu-jitsu, it was too much for Neil Magny, but I think he's getting better as a fighter overall, so I think Neil Magny gets it done against Lorenz Larkin. Keeps the streak going. And then the FS1 prelims, we got Randa Marcus versus Courtney Casey. I'm going to go with Courtney Casey. She had a good win against Christina Stanchu in her last fight back in July. Quick turnaround for her, of course. But yeah, I think she can get it done against Randa Marcus and have the 2-fight winning streak going. So I'm going to go with Courtney. And then you got Artem Lobov against Chris Avila. I'm going to go with the newcomer, Chris Avila. He's, I don't really know anything about him. I know he looks like he's a lot less experienced than Artem Lobov is, but, I think that, Artem looked a lot better on The Ultimate Fighter than he did actually in the Octagon, like the UFC. He lost to Ryan Hall and Alex White. But, I'm going with Chris Avila to get it done. So I'm going with Avila. And then you got Raquel Pennington versus Elizabeth Phillips. I'm going with Raquel Pennington. She's been getting better as a mixed martial artist, coming off 2 great wins against Jessica Andrade, who beat Raquel before, got revenge on Jessica, and she beat Betch Correa, who is a former title challenger, so those are 2 big wins for her. And in my opinion, this fight doesn't make sense that much. Elizabeth Phillips lost her first 2 UFC fights, then beat Jessamyn Duke, so this fight doesn't make sense. I don't know why they would do it, but I don't know, you never know what's going to happen. And then you got Cody Garbrandt against Takeya Mizugaki. I'm going to go with Cody Garbrandt. He's just been on a roll, even though he has a lot less experience than Takeya. I still think that Cody has what it takes to take out Takeya Mizugaki. And then the main card, you got Tim Means and Sean Strickland. I'm going to go with Sean Strickland. He's good fighter. He only in 1 loss to Santiago Ponzinibbio, so I think he gets it done against Tim Means. I just think he's the better all-around fighter in this fight. Then you got Hyoin Gyoy Lim versus Mike Perry. I'm going to go with Hyoin Gyoy Lim to get it done with his favorite technique, the flying knee. I think he can get it done anyway. I just don't know a lot about Mike Perry. So I think Lim gets it done. Then you got Rick Story versus Donald Cerrone. I'm going to go with Donald Cerrone. He's been at it on a tear at the welterweight division. meeting Alex Oliveira and Patrick Cote. You know, I think he can get another win under his belt against Rick Story. So I think he can get it done. This would be a big win for Donald. And then you got Anthony Johnson and Glover Teixeira, two heavy hitters in this fight. You know, I think Anthony Johnson would be the one to connect. So I think Anthony Johnson connects on Glover and Glover goes to sleep. Honestly, that's what I think would happen in this fight. So I think Anthony's the one to do it. And then you got the main event, Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor. I'm going to go with Nate Diaz. You know, I think he can beat Conor McGregor twice. I just think Conor McGregor is not all that good at welterweight. You know, I just think the guys are too big for him up there. You know, I think Nate Diaz gets it done once again. So I don't think Conor could beat Nate in this fight either. So yeah, that will do it for me for the UFC 202 fights on Saturday, August 20th, where Nate Diaz meets Conor McGregor once again. And pretty much that's it. So catch you guys later. Bye.